So tonight we have a 2009 Land Rover Freelander, I believe. It was towed in for a no start condition, a no crank condition. And I got the scanner in it. The interesting thing is, the ignition does not come on, or the dash doesn't light up. Yet it auto ID'd. And these are the codes that I'm pulled so far. It's been taking a while to do a network scan. It's at 2 controllers. So it says in the engine control computer we got crash input. In the body control module we got crash input. Passive anti-theft system key. High mount stop, left low beam, right low beam, interior lamps, rear wiper motor, lost communication with seat controller. And these are all codes that I'm able to pull, even though it doesn't even appear that the ignition is on. Now this has got the key fob in the dash right here, and it's in there. So we'll let this continue to scan and see what comes up. Well, the third module to report is the strength control module, and it shows no codes. Yet I've got all these codes in the other modules. Well, all that's responded so far is the engine and body and airbag module. And the strange thing is there's no indication that the ignition is on at all. Nothing happens when I step on the brake and push the start button, although the start stop switch is lit up and the 2 little green indicators are on the key. Well, we'll wait some more. So interestingly, it's able to scan 11 modules without the ignition in the run position, or at least it doesn't appear to be. I got that crash code in the engine, crash code in the body, anti-theft code in the body. Those bother me. Lost communication with the seat. Then in the tire pressure monitoring system, got a whole bunch of undocumented code. Then here shows an intake camshaft sensor position actuator code in the TPMS system. And another one further down, if I remember. Cylinder 6 deactivation. Driver's door, control module configuration incompatible. I think the customer said the battery went dead. They tried to boost it. Well, what we're going to do here is we have a recording of all these codes. We're going to clear all codes read by code scan and see what happens. Well, I went through all the modules and it appeared to clear them, but this is what comes up at the end. Okay. Let's see if we got data from the engine control computer. It was slow as hell to go through these modules. Very, very slow communicating. I don't know. I don't recall this vehicle being that slow with the scan tool before, so something's going on. Oh, I see my indicator has gone off on the dash. That indicator was off and the start button was basically turned off. Let's try this again. I guess it powers off if you leave the key in the sort of ready position. I didn't try starting it. Let's try starting it. Put on the brake. Well, that's more than we got before. Said system check. At least the dash is alive now. Well, I'll have a look around in here and see what I can find. This data list doesn't appear to have starter request or cranking request. Control voltage is getting low. It's only 11.8. Let's try relays and switches. Current state of main relay. Minimum pump current at charge over valve. Well, that's very useful. It's probably in the BCM then. Actually, so turn the key off. Well, now the interior lights come on. Still won't start. Let's go into the body control module. With TPMS code. Let's see if we got any codes. Crash input. Well, maybe that's why it won't start, because I got a cramp in my leg. It thinks that there's a crash of some kind going on here. The airbag warning light wasn't on. Like that little downhill. What's that red light blinking? Can't see, it's so dark in here. Functional tests? No. What special functions? Crash status reset. Then press and hold the push button until the ignition is on. Just did this. Push button once. Put it on, 2. I just heard a fuel pump run. Completed successfully. Turn the ignition off. I just did this. Okay, that's excellent. Let's see if it'll start. Put on the brake. Whatever. I don't believe this. Well, that's good. At least we can bring it in the shop. Well, the only lights I got on is TPMS lights and looks like a headlamp light or something. But I noticed this when I got it in the shop here. Headlights or the fog lamps just laying in here. Well, we're going to hook up to it and scan it now that it's in the shop. I'm going to try another complete code scan again and see what it comes up with. See if this is a little faster. Well, it's had that fan control code for years. It had to have something to do with that crash code. I wonder if somebody backed into the vehicle. Right headlamp swiveling feedback circuit. Look how fast it's going through the scan now. I had 11 controllers the first time I scanned it, but it took like 5 minutes to go through the list. Huh. I think I better talk with this owner and find out if somebody hit this thing in the parking lot or something. 18 controllers. And all those crash codes are gone now. This one's still here, control module configuration incompatible. And this one was in there before. Odometer tampered. Signal compare failure. All kinds of fun here. Well, it runs again anyways, that's a good sign. So I found this case on Identifix with that fault code B10A2 Crash input. It says a fully functional Land Rover compatible scan tool is required to get diagnostic trouble codes from all the modules in the car. There's a mention of a bulletin. Check this bulletin. It says there's a engine will not start, crash status flag. So either somebody's hit this car, I don't know how much of an impact it takes, but it does say there's a BCM update to address this problem, but this may be a legitimate problem based on the damage to the front bumper. But I'm going to ask the customer if this was something new or old, that damage. But it appears that that code can basically cause a no crank condition in the vehicle. The fuel pump wouldn't enable. As soon as I cleared that code using the special functions in the BCM, I heard the fuel pump kick in. And just clearing the codes didn't do it. I had to go into special functions in the BCM. Very interesting. Well, we got no codes in the BCM now. Well, good thing I stumbled on that functional test and that crash status reset, and that the snap-on scan tool was able to do it. That's nice to know. Well, I'm going to talk to this customer and see if I can find out what happened in what order.